Hi there, welcome to some of the latest news on the Jay Slater case. Although he's not missing anymore as his body was found, whilst the formal identification is underway, the family have been made aware and know themselves that their son had passed away through an accident or something else. That's debatable as for discussions online. But what went wrong to begin with? Could anything have been done sooner to get a better result, or just bring that closure earlier on within this case? That's the news, what we're going to be taking a look at today, and as well a brief introduction regarding the family returning back to the UK with their son. Will that be in a coffin or like ashes? I don't know, that's their decision of course. But as time has passed on quite a bit now, what went wrong to begin with? The initial search? I mean, in terms of that Dutch group that was supposed to come on in, and it wasn't that long ago now, and on the day they came in, or about to, just so happened that's when Jay was found, in a hard to reach, hard to see area. Yet in terms of the searches conducted, such as at the start, and how the officials, the police, ended up calling searches off because they felt like they've done enough searching at that point. In fact, there was talk in the background that Jay could be further on in the island or gone elsewhere. Well, if claims are that searches were done successfully and they checked everywhere, well, clearly not enough based off this outcome. What I want to do now is head on over to the introduction article, but what I do want to say is a heads up that, at least in my opinion, that if all the key areas were searched sooner than later, and it was done much earlier on, these ravines, these hard to reach areas, these dangerous locations where one could end up falling from above, that sometimes you do need to check the most dangerous areas first. And if not, definitely make sure to tick them off the list at some point. Granted, it's dangerous for a reason. And if you're looking for a missing person and you've looked all over in the respected area, you're thinking, well, we've got a dangerous area here, we've got a missing person at the time, maybe the missing person is in the dangerous area. If it's not been searched, then who knows what's there? So it's kind of common sense in a way. And at some point, the experts or groups coming on in would have had enough equipment to be able to get there somehow, some way, surely. I mean, in terms of locals, friends, family, and TikTokers coming on in, yeah, they're not going to have all the latest equipment and stuff, might not be fully prepared. But as for the experts, the authority, there would have been opportunity, right? So why did it take so long to search that particular area where Jay Slater was? And as well, with the last article that I read, where it was hinting at maybe he had a fall, fell off a cliff mountain, and then landed on the ground, and then concealed for a bit, or just not searched properly enough. But recently, people have been discussing, did he fall, or accidental, or was it like a push? But who would push him? Would there be any evidence to support that claim that he was pushed? Who by them? Some people from the Airbnb. I mean, what do I think at this moment in time? I wouldn't be surprised if it was accidental, just on the basis that if you got a person that's dehydrated, very thirsty, they're not quite there with it, maybe disorientated, right? You could slip, you could stumble, you could go the wrong way, you could turn a bit funny, you could get a bit dizzy, faint, fall, and you're near to the edge of a cliff, mountain, hill. Bad things can happen. It does. Is that what directly happened here? There's a possibility. But as for any touch-based DNA, as if someone was to push him, well, that's not come out at this moment. In terms of all the theories, the conspiracies, whatever you want to call it in the past, whilst yes, it did go about online here and there, at least from all the stuff that I heard of and tried to make sense of within my videos, it was all from bloody news articles. It wasn't from TikTok, it wasn't from YouTubers, it was from just standard news articles talking about it, unless they got it from the platform YouTube or more so TikTok, and it's just gone around in a circle. But at least when I've been looking at these concepts, as wild as some of them may have been, like when people were regarding Jay Slater as the next James Bond in terms of a beach situation and a yacht situation, I mean, throughout it, I wasn't saying that that's exactly what happened, but on the basis that if it did happen and if it was possible, how would it be possible? How could it even happen? Right? Just making sense, trying to balance it out. And we may have gone full circle now to getting somewhat of the truth in at least the location, the closure of Jay, but it's the full closure as for the true cause of death, whether it is accidental or there's a little bit of foul play, whether that be from someone out there, a stranger, a local. Are the police to blame in any way? You can let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Feel free to do so at any point in this video. And for whatever reason, if you did want to catch up on previous videos that I did on the case, just go on the I symbol, it will be available. But to begin with, let's focus in on this introduction with the family situation as of right now. So this was posted 17th of July 2024, titled Jay Slater's family to return to UK with his body, as his heartbroken mum begins funeral plans. Now, not to sound negative, just as a genuine question, whatever remains of that GoFundMe, I guess that's going to go towards the funeral plan for it to be used in some way. But in terms of any leftovers, I wonder where that money goes from the GoFundMe. And just out of question, has the GoFundMe ended or is it still up live? I've not checked since. Anyway, there's some photos as we've seen previously. Set to return back. Police confirmed on Tuesday that the human remains found in Tenerife belonged to Jay Slater. Authorities said that he had fallen from high up. Maybe he did fall, but was it accidental or was he pushed? It came after a month-long search across remote terrain following Jay's disappearance after a music festival. Okay, teenage flew out. Is this a quote? Debbie Duncan, what she had to say: I just can't believe it. We're here with the embassy staff waiting for an update and now it's come, the worst news. I just can't believe this could happen to my boy. Our hearts are broken. There we go. The head of British Overseas Missing Person charity LBT Global, Matt Searle, had been supporting the family since Jay's disappearance. He said Tuesday that they were expected to travel back to the UK on the same plane as his body. Debbie Duncan has told me if she is not doing something, she will just fall apart. So got to keep busy, distract one's mind. It was revealed on Tuesday that Jay had broken bones after a fall from a height. So that's an interesting descriptive detail there, broken bones. And of course, that's what can happen if you have fallen from a height, and even if you've fallen at an angle or made contact to the ground with some force. Of course, broken bones can come in many different ways, such as being beaten or attacked, but there's no indication of that here at least. It says he was found just yards away from where his phone had last pinged on the morning he went missing. So that would be quite chilling, I guess, especially if you're on the other end of the phone call with Jay, and shortly after that, that was it. So that final phone call was very significant. It didn't foreshadow what was going to happen next in terms of in the moment, but when you look back now, he said he's scared, said he's thirsty, right? Dehydrated. I mean, how much has that set in at the time? How dehydrated was he when he made that call? Was he able to swallow, talk and speak clearly? I wonder. But moments after that, you would think moments after, because his body being near to that final phone ping, I guess. It's quite bad. Would it have been like an instant death? I'm not too sure. Let me know your thoughts down below. Miss Duncan said in a statement that she was devastated by the news that the body had been found. So that fingerprints were used to identify the remains, a court official confirmed. Spokesperson for Mr. Duncan said formal identification of Jay's body will be done using a DNA sample provided by the family to the Spanish Guardia Civil during the early stages of the search. Debbie has said she wants to see him one last time. Obviously, that's a personal voice choice, you mean? But given he's been there the best part of a month in those conditions, I'm not sure that's a memory she will want. A vigil was held for Jay at West End Methodist Church. And last one, tearful friends laid flowers outside his house. Yeah, this is the thing. Some time has passed by once he's found. Decomposition. I'm guessing, because they're just talking about bones. Did it say about personal items of Jay possessions found near to him or more so on him? I guess as you would expect, on the basis that it is him, with what he was carrying at the time. If we just move to the next one, we can transition onto the area itself. Jay Slater updates as Tenerife locals reveal what went wrong after body found. And it's interesting how it talks about Tenerife locals. Are they saying in general, all about, or are they saying in the specific area where he was at that Airbnb? Because in that Airbnb area, that community seemed quite tight-lipped from how it's worded in previous articles. But once again, this was done on the same day itself, July 17th. A woman says locals avoid the ravine where Jay Slater's body was found because it's so dangerous. Well, okay, you could understand that to an extent, but as long as you've got the correct safety equipment, it shouldn't be as dangerous. Because in life, there'll be many other dangerous places on this earth, in this world, in life, that have been checked, have been visited for a reason in particular. If you're searching for a missing person on an island in a specific area and the final phone ping is nearby and the body just so happens to be near to that, and you said, oh, you've searched all about and no sign, maybe he's moved on beyond. Have you truly searched everywhere? Oh no, forgot about that. Yeah, the area down there. Yeah, can't search, it's too dangerous. So you can't say with confidence that you have searched the area thoroughly when there's a key spot, a key location, which has not been checked. And if it had been checked earlier on, would it have been a different outcome? Leave your comments down below. Let's say on the same day Jay was reported missing, or more so a day later, okay, within that 24, 48 hour period, that's what they say most often, within that 24, 48 hour period, that's when it's most important when a person's gone missing, because when it goes beyond that, it's probably harder to think that the person is still alive, depending the conditions they're in, and if they're stranded in the middle of nowhere. And in a way, to an extent, that's what happened with Jay, and with the temperatures as well. You take that into consideration, where it be really hot during the day and cold at night. Temperature changes, cold traps can impact and affect your body, but really, for the most part of this, it seems to be the sun, the heat, dehydration, which is possibly the cause as to why he fell and, landed from a height. So that's the way I see it. Fair enough if not everybody agrees, but I do think that if that's really the case, after that phone call, he ended up collapsing, fainting, falling, and then fell off a mountain, that even if he was found hours later, or more so realistically a day later, if they checked the key location, if somehow they were able to and they knew that was the spot, would it have been any different outcome? Would he have been alive or not? I guess it depends, that height. Broken bones, you can survive broken bones, but what broken bones exactly? And what other damage has been sustained? You fall from a height, you smack your head on the ground or a rock, that could be game over. The height itself is obviously a key factor. The higher it is, the less likely you are to survive it. And if somehow by any chance you do survive it, until you found rescued, that chance of survival was probably, you haven't got as long to live, unless, you recovered soon, very soon. Let's just go into more detail here. Heartbreaking tributes. Slater's mum, brother, dad, left heartbroken. Understandable. Mr. Slater's mother, Debbie. Okay, we saw that. Brother, Zach wrote, love you, little bro. Never in a million years did I think I'd be doing this. There we go, rest easy. And the dad, to my boy, love dad. Jay Slater's dad left. Okay. Chance, Jay Slater's family walked past. Oh, this makes it a bit dark, right? The chance that Jay Slater's family walked past his body in Tenerife search, entirely possible. A source for the family of Jay Slater has suggested the bricklayer relatives who helped in the search may have inadvertently walked past the 19-year-old. That's kind of dark, that. I mean, I don't know if it's a fair comparison, but what was it, with Michael Mosley, was that in Greece, where he was supposedly seen last here and then moved on after that, and they were trying to find him. They looked in the mountains, went afar, couldn't find him, and he actually wasn't that far away in the end, and near to where tourists were, just slightly out of the way where you couldn't quite see him, and maybe there'd be no reason to check in that particular area, but they ended up finding him But before that, people did walk past him several times. So that's how it could apply here. It's unfortunate, of course. I do understand that. But if it's out the way or it's somewhat concealed, it will be hard to notice, right? It says, they told the Sun, it hasn't completely sunk in yet. The hardest thing for it, is to hear about, it was found close to the original search site. Close to the original search site, which I guess in the eyes of the Guardia Civil, the police, deemed as, well, it's been searched now, end the search, we move on, remain the case open. If locals, family want to continue, they can, but they don't. But then, fast forward onwards, when he is found, the Guardia Civil are thanked or thanking and praising themselves for solving it, even though, that delay in calling it off early. Are they trying to take credit all of a sudden? Are they trying to overshadow the presence or the possible presence of that Dutch search group? That if they came in or if they did, and they were responsible or could have been responsible, that they don't get any credit on the basis that they were involved. If they weren't involved, would they have been the ones to have found Jay? You never know. Possible. It means it's entirely possible that they have walked past his body while searching for him. That's kind of a creepy feeling in a way. Mourners lay flowers. Last night's memorial. Seen that. Body found in a remote part. Woman lays flowers outside the church. Okay, well wishes, emotional service for Jay. Okay, crowds assemble outside, pay respects, memorial. Police refuse to say if they've recovered the 12k Rolex watch Jay allegedly stole before death. I mean, you'd think either it is in the Airbnb or if it was still on him as he was taking it from wherever and getting away would be on his remains, his body, but how it says here, Spanish police have refused to comment on claims Jay Slater snatched a luxury Rolex watch prior to his untimely death. The TV sleuth Mark Williams Thomas, as we've heard by now, previously claimed Jay had boasted about snatching a Rolex in the Snapchat video just before he disappeared on June 17th. Tenerife Guardia Civil told Mirror, all the information we're prepared to release at this stage has been put in the public domain. Any updates, should we decide to publish any more information, will be made available through the normal channels. So we're saying that there's some sensitive information which has been withheld, which the general public can't be told at this moment in time for legal reasons or for more. Is there any information which they're withholding because it could paint a bad image of themselves for how they've conducted things in the case? Makes you think, different ways of looking at it. As for Mark Williams Thomas, with the watch situation, then the criminal networks, the underworld, and then a yacht situation, he's been the one that's mainly been talking about it and pushing it in the first place, and then it started spreading around elsewhere. So he's kind of the catalyst behind it all. And at the end of the day, out of everything Mark Williams Thomas has said, suggested, and the possible information he's collected along the way, how much of it was true? How much of it led to the discovery of Jay Slater's body being found? I don't think that much, to be honest. You can let me know what you think down below. Scroll down. Spanish police won't comment on the claims of the Rolex. Let's just say it turned out to be complete BS and it never happened, or it wasn't the same one. It would have been better just to clear the BS and to clear the misinformation so there's no mysteries. It would just help in general. It says, how were the officials able to confirm the body is Jay? Jay Slater identified through fingerprints after his remains were discovered in a rugged area near his last known location, the Canary Islands, High Court Justice said. Charity helping bring Jay's body home. The charity's been working with the Slater family to sort out the next steps of taking his body home and the recovery of his belongings. Devastated, broken hearts. Understandable. Confirmed, Jay Slater's death said he had multiple injuries and were consistent with a fall in a rocky area. So to have multiple injuries, multiple broken bones and maybe, damage to the head, the skull, fractures? Depends exactly what he landed on and if it made contact with any rocks. In a statement issued through the charity, I just can't believe it. We're here with the embassy staff. We've seen that before. Yep. Jay Slater's story represented something very strange for locals. The manager of a cafe in Tenerife, close to the search scene for missing Jay Slater, has said it's come as a shock that the Brit had ended up in the area. Named only as Oliveira by the Manchester Evening News, a cafe manager told the publication there was something very strange in Jay's case, with the police presence and the media scrutiny being an unfamiliar sight to the residents of Tenerife, where search teams have been based. Is that because things like that haven't happened in the past? She said, it surprised me a lot that Jay ended up here very much. It's not normal here. It's something very strange having the police here every day over 2 weeks and nothing. It's something inexplicable. Emergency work, okay. Well, is that about it? Okay. So in terms of what went wrong, in terms of this title, what went wrong after body found? I don't think it's so much what went wrong after the body found, it's more so what went wrong to begin with in order for the body to be found this late on. And at the end of the day, what it basically is a certain area which is deemed as too dangerous to search or explore, which ended up leading to no one bothering and searching the spot. Now, granted, you could be lenient and say you can't expect the family, the friends, the mother, etc. to be searching in that area because it's just members of the general public. They're not going to have all the safety harness, the headgear and all the protective stuff to be able to rappel down or somehow transverse down into that area. It's not expected of them. And, you know, they've been searching supposedly. But as for the others, would that be locals, the volunteers of wherever, experts along the way? Shouldn't they have equipment to be able to get down to places? Or is it not even possible to use equipment? Now, there were some points mentioned earlier on elsewhere about a drone being used in the area, and there's been some other people who give counterpoints and said, well, depending the elevation and where you're exactly looking, such as a cave, it's just not going to show the person within. The only way you'd know is if you got the drone into the cave, and that's not going to be successful. But at the end of the day, if a drone was used within that area of where Jay's body was, like that ravine, would he have been found sooner if a drone was used in that particular area, or still would it have been hard to find, like a needle in a haystack? Let me know your thoughts down below. And whilst there is closure now in terms of what's happened to Jay, the cause of death has been given. Are people satisfied with the cause of death? Are people satisfied with the length of time it's taken to get to this resolve based off the cause of death and the likely outcome? In terms of possibly falling off a mountain, a tall place, it wouldn't surprise me if moments before on that call he's dehydrated, disorientated, about to fall or faint. It can happen, right? But in terms of how the search was conducted, arguably more could have been done. And with certain authorities and their attitudes of, well, we've searched, we've ticked it all off the list, they clearly didn't. Even though it might be a very dangerous spot, that should have been acknowledged and highlighted as, well, that might need to be checked out, but nope. And as for the family walking by it several times, that's a bit of a creepy reminder when reflecting back. Nevertheless, that's some of the recent news. Hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. I appreciate those that have watched and have been patient. I guess we'll see what happens next. I've still got other videos and cases to look at. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.